I'm heading north, pretty far north. I'm heading to Wabakimi Provincial Park. Even at the best of times, Wabakimi can be a pretty difficult place to access. Wabakimi is nearly 9,000 square kilometers in size, and with more than 2,000 kilometers of canoe routes, it's a paddler's paradise. Like I said, Wabakimi can be pretty difficult to access. A lot of paddlers opt to enter the park by train. The CN rail line runs right across the bottom of the park, and you can schedule drop-offs or pickups with Via Rail along the way. Unfortunately, this service isn't being offered in 2020 because of COVID-19. The other option is to fly into the park. Carrie and I did that back in 2002. We flew into the middle of the park, did a big 14-day trip. It was a great trip. Want to see some pictures? You get the idea. Time to update those memories. On this trip, I'm going to access Wabakimi through the back door. The west side of the park has some rarely used access points that you can get to by logging road. I'm going to drive up the 702 logging road, where I'm going to leave my truck and enter the park through Smye Lake and Smye Creek. I'm going to spend some time on Wilkie Lake just exploring, and then I'm going to head back. This corner of the park also has a number of tourism outpost camps, but with COVID-19 happening, they're likely shut down for the season. I don't have very much information to help plan this trip. I just have a 1 to 150,000 scale route map with no portage information, and a 1 to 150,000 scale topographic map, again with no portage information. I'm going to figure this out as I go. First step this morning, get all our gear to where I hope we can paddle. It's a bit shallow there. I've walked across this swamp. There's no trail. This entry point isn't used very much. So hopefully this is the hardest part, just getting in here. Gonna go back for the boat now. There we go. There we go, push through the mud a little bit and I'm in this little pond. Hopefully it's clear water to the lake. Beautiful day. Better get paddling. Just one little beaver lift here to get into the lake. So here we are, Smye Creek, I guess this is called, flows into Wilkie and Wabakimi. Can't find a portage. This obviously drops quite a bit. So this is not used very much as an entry point, that's for sure. I'm in Smye Creek. This leads down into Wabakimi Park, and I cannot find a portage. I'm going to back up and look some more. There might be one that's wider around this way. We'll see. If not, I could be doing some bushwhacking to get my boat in there. So we'll see, there's a bit of a trail here and it leads up. I don't even see any old blazes, which would give me some comfort. Oh, maybe there's one. These are really, really old. Perhaps I'm on the right trail here. This is a funny little obstacle. I've scouted that side, there's no portage. I've scouted this side, there's no portage. It's about a 1 foot drop and a big boulder. There's no place to unload the boat, so I'm gonna have to pull it in here, unload stuff on this rock, and move the boat, put everything in it. Just a really, really awkward spot. A lot of work getting into this location here. We're only 80 meters away from the lake, and if this was a busier park, somebody would punch a portage, boom, right to the lake and avoid all this. But that doesn't seem to exist here anywhere. Unloaded most of the boat, and there's the canoe ready to go back in. This is not easy. Almost there. It's just too steep to get in that side. I've got my bag in there precariously. I'm going to go across here and pull my boat in over there and jump in. I did not want to carry my stuff down this slope. Oh, all right, that was the hardest portage of the day. There's just no place to load or unload safely, and there's no portage around this. Done. So I'm on Wilkie Lake, and this is the outpost lodge that's here. Nobody here. All the boats are up, closed for the season because of coronavirus. Beautiful place. Everything here would have been flown in. Just stopped on a beach here, and this is a great place to look for caribou tracks. We're in caribou country, woodland caribou, and the tracks are different from moose in that they're smaller and rounder. And these are pretty old, but they're very, very round. Let me show you. See how round those are on the edges? They're very, very old tracks, but this is the best place to look for caribou tracks. I think that was a caribou. We are in caribou range, so very likely caribou. Well, it's 6 o'clock. I found this spot. The shore is nice and flat. It's all rock. Very, very flat. Nice place to hang out. I don't think anybody's used this as a campsite in a long time. There are some rocks down here. Only really good place to put a tent is right there. I'll move those poles. I can paddle around this lake for another couple hours and not find something, or I can use this. It's always the challenge. I think this is a really fantastic campsite. Could use a few more tent pads. It's just never been used as a campsite. So I think we'll take it tonight. Again with the plural. I'm by myself. There's nobody around for miles and miles and miles. And I insist on using we. That island might have some possibilities, I don't know. I might go check it out and then come back if it doesn't pan out. That point looks nice. Here we are, the end of the long day. Long day of travel anyway. Still got a couple hours of daylight left. Just having a drink of water, chilling out. I got my firewood collected, got a fire pit built, got the tent drying out from this morning because there was a lot of dew this morning. I packed it up wet. Tent will go up soon, and I'll make some supper and go to bed. I'm sure I'm ready for it. I traveled about 10 kilometers today. Deceptive because there was a lot of portages, probably close to 10. I didn't count them, should have counted them. And each one of them I had to, pretty much each one. And there was one really good one I saw ablaze and I followed the portage, but the rest of them were, a half hour of scouting either side of the creek, trying to figure out where to go, and some challenging ones, some really challenging liftovers. So yeah, I'm in Wilkie Lake now, just up a couple kilometers from the outfitters lodge there. Normally wouldn't stay so close, but there's no one there, so I'm not going to see motorboats tonight or anything like that. So it's a really good time to be in this corner of the park. Yeah, beautiful spot. Improvised a little campsite here. Pretty natural campsite, just lacking a few tent pads, but other than that, it's really good. I'm gonna get a good sunset tonight. I don't think it's gonna rain, so I'm not gonna put up the tarp. If it rains, I'll put up the tarp back in the trees a little bit and make another sort of kitchen area there. But for tonight, I've got a fire pit here, right by the water's edge. I really like this flat rock. This is it's really nice to have a flat surface after all that scrambling up and down trails and in and out of the boat all day long. It's nice to walk on something flat. So now that I've got most of my chores done, I'm going to take off my hiking boots. They're a bit wet from today. Let them dry out a little bit, and that'll be that. Wabakimi. Don't even have time to adjust the camera. Okay, it's going to be a breezy afternoon. I thought we'd get out on the water, explore this lake, Wilkie Lake. Go up through these islands, get out of some of this wind. I got the front of the boat loaded with most of my gear, so it's behaving better. And we're gonna let out a bit of line and troll as we go. Nice slow paddle, nice slow day on the water. Beautiful day. I'm all sunscreened up because the sun is going to beat down on me all afternoon. A bit more line. So I get a nice deep troll. The other thing I'm going to do, I almost forgot, is put some sunscreen on my lips. I always keep a couple of these on the inside pocket of this life vest, that way I never forget them. I always have my life vest. I've trolled for quite a bit. Oh, maybe half hour, 45 minutes. I've been using this jointed Rapala, no luck. It is approaching midday, so I don't expect a lot of action. But when you're not getting anything, it's always wise to change it up. So I might not be deep enough. So this is a sinking lure. It's a rattling lure as well. You can give that a shot. Rattling lures are really good for pike usually. Maybe it'll wake up a walleye, we'll see. I've been watching a little bit of John from Backcountry Angling, Ontario, and I'm starting to follow his practice. I'm going barbless, and I've taken off the first treble hook on all my lures. When you catch a fish, you're most likely going to catch it on the last treble hook, and barbless just makes a lot of sense. I've never stuck myself, but watching John pull one of these out of his leg while he's on a backcountry trip gave me pause and made me realize, yeah, I should probably be doing the same thing. And you know what? It's a lot less hassle. The lures don't stick to each other as much. If you get caught on a plant or a bit of webbing on your pack, it's a lot less hassle on a canoe trip. So, you know, you're always trying to do a bunch of things at once. You know, paddle, control the boat, run some cameras, control your fishing rod, and barbless is just one less thing to worry about. So anyway, just switching it up, going for a little bit of a rattling action. Got a couple of split shots to keep it down. It's August, so the water's warmer. Fish are going to be deeper. I expect, you know, walleye to be 30 to 40 feet in depth, and I want to hit that depth. Even at midday, if I find some, I should get some sort of response. Go for a bit of a hike. This is the portage that goes into the next lake. Took me a while to find it. The grass is all overgrown. It's not used very much, obviously. That's the trail there. It goes right to another outpost camp, so we're going to take a look, see what that camp looks like. Wind's picking up, so I'm going to try and make quick work of this. I only have my Crocs on, so Just beautiful forest in here. Look at that. Conifer everywhere you look. Lodge. Very typical fish cleaning shed. And a really nice outpost camp. Doesn't look like there's anybody around. Typical cabin. Bunk beds. A couple of bedrooms. Bit of a kitchen over there. They're not even set up. The barbecue's inside. That would normally be outside. More sleeping back there. More sleeping over here. Honda generator. Big open space that's screened in. Probably a great place to eat a meal. Whoops. Lots of chairs, lots of barbecues, lots of propane, lots of picnic tables. Great spot to come with a family or a bunch of friends for a week. I guess I'm going to get back to my boat. It is almost 3 o'clock, so I'll get back to my boat. Try and catch a fish between here and camp. Back to the boat. Let's go do some fishing. There we go, finally got something. Pike. Oh, he got off. That's okay. I did not want to eat a pike tonight. But at least I caught a fish. I'm gonna have my net handier for the next time. Yeah, barbless hook, and they come off more easily, which is just fine by me. See if we can find another one. Another fish. Starting to work now. This one feels a bit bigger. My net is handy. Kind of thought I'd pick something up as soon as I get off this point here. Don't know what was going on this morning, couldn't hook anything. This is more like it. You shouldn't have to wait too long in the north to pick up a fish. Oh. Got the leader here. What have I got? Another pike. Pike love those rattling baits. So wasn't really interested in pulling him in. He was a small one. But I'm catching fish, that's good. Another end to a great day. Today was about just exploring, and this trip is really just about exploring. I went up the end of the lake here and checked out a creek and checked out the portage into Flint Lake. And now I find myself in some partial shade, just staying out of the sun. The wind's picked up, and it's not a great time to be out in the lake right now in a boat. Whitecaps are starting to form. Not a whole lot of them, but it's getting a bit rough out there. So I'm just chilling out, rehydrating. So the whole purpose of this trip was to explore. The theme was exploration, to get into a part of Wabakimi that I have never been to before. It's seldom accessed by canoe trippers. I bet that portage system that I came through here, I bet no one has come in here in the last 2 years, maybe even more. The only way to get into this lake, unless you want to bust your butt going through those creeks, is to fly in and stay at one of these outpost camps. And this year, there's nobody at those camps. So, great time to come in and explore and check this out. Happy I did. And so I'm glad I did come. I'm glad I got to see that system of creeks and portages. I'm glad I got to see this lake, catch a few fish. Tomorrow is going to be a challenging day to get out with all my gear, but I'm going to pack it up nice and snug and try and be efficient as I can. It'll be quicker because I know the route now. I've put a few new fresh blazes here and there and cleared most of the trail, so it'll be easier to get out tomorrow. Today's breakfast is going to be quick and easy. I brought some bagels and gonna have peanut butter and jam on my bagels. Look at that. Job well done. I'm gonna eat this bagel, wash it down with some coffee. We'll be out of here in about half an hour. Just about to get off Wilkie Lake and leave the park. Beautiful little spot this morning, a bit breezy coming across the lake, but the boat handled pretty well, and just looking for that first portage. It should be right around the corner here. The first portage. Coming back it's easier to find because I cleared some of this brush out of the way. There's an old blaze on one of those trees, but other than that, it's really hard to find. If I was coming this direction for the first time, I'd have a really hard time finding that. There, the portage is going to be easier to see if anybody comes this way again. Alright, since I forgot to count my portages on the way in here, I'm going to count them on the way out. That's one pile of gear, one portage. So here's that crazy obstacle. There's no portage around this. I'm going to unload my stuff as best I can on these rocks and pull the boat up over there and just do the best I can. an awful lot of work to go a couple of feet. So it's a real steep climb, so I've just thrown my stuff up here. I don't want to climb it with a canoe, so I'm going to hopefully coax it over. Come down here, jump on this rock. There we go. Here comes the boat. There she is. Now to get that stuff in there. Now that I'm done that obstacle, I paddle 50 meters and tackle another one. Another pile of stuff and portage number 3. This will be portage number 4. A rock scramble. Up. This will be number 5. So I just got in the boat. That's portage number 6 ahead of me. There we go, that's portage 7 done. I was thinking of camping here tonight, but it's only 1 o'clock, so I think I'm going to push on a couple hours out to the truck. I certainly don't want to drive at night. It's a 5-hour drive. So, but I got time. I got time now. 7 portages took me about half a day, whereas before, when they weren't cleared, it took me a full day. So, clearing them and knowing where they are really saves a lot of time. That little beaver dam is obstacle number 8. Alright, I made it to my last portage. About 300 meters across this swamp, and I'll be at the truck. I think when this beaver lodge was active, the water would have been higher and you would have been able to paddle almost all the way. But not today. Not today. This has turned into a beaver meadow now. All right, one last push to get to the truck. Coming back from my second trip. It's impossible to see my stuff, but I know it's over there by the old beaver lodge. Trying not to scratch that new boat. This is what I've come through, and I've got a few more feet to go to get out in the open. Had to put her down. Got caught up in all this mess here. I cleaned it quite a bit, but apparently not enough. There we are. Truck is over there. Back on the logging road. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.